Hello, everybody.
Hi guys.
Me again, Lebo in the building.
And Sese in the building.
Yes. Okay, building up from the first episode. This is now the official first episode.
Yeah.
And today's topic, we went with friendships. And this topic is why did we choose to do this topic, actually? From my side, I would say I feel like it's something that we don't speak about a lot. And within our friendships, we go through things where we're not in spaces to express how we feel about them. You don't know if you are within proper friendship groups or if your friendship is benefiting you. So you don't talk about it, you don't know about it. So we settle most of the time when it comes to friendships. So I feel like if we talk about it, we'll create awareness in terms of knowing if you have the right friends for you, basically.
I think for me, I wanted us to talk about friendships because I finally, after a very long time, I finally got to a space where I wanted to have friends. And I was like, but I know the type of people that I want to have in my life, and I have such high standards for those people. I feel like, will I ever find those people? And the people that I have around me, are those the people that I can consider my friends? Are those the people that I want to build with and grow with?
Yeah.
And I think this is important because you'll share your experiences of friendships. I'll share my experience of the lack of friendships.
At the end of the day, at the end of this episode, I think we should be able to determine if certain friendships are for you and if
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
friendships are not for you. Basically, what works for you and what does not work for you.
And
Yeah.
also, this is a platform for you guys to tell us your friendship experiences and what has worked for you in the past and what hasn't.
Yeah.
And also, what you can learn from what we are going to be sharing today.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by any means, this episode is not to attack anyone's character. It's not
That's a
to
strong
belittle
disclaimer.
anyone. Disclaimer, it's not me shining bad light on anyone. It's just my experience with you. So if conversations comes up and you feel like you are the person in the situation, like if I'm talking about something and you feel like I'm talking about you, rather look at it as learn from it, listen and hear what I'm saying. By all means, if I am wrong or if our views are not the same, you are welcome to come back and share.
And that's the whole point of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna dive right into it. I think the main question would be, do you have friends? And yeah, do you have friends?
Are you asking me or you want to
Yes, I'm
answer that?
asking you and me. Do you have
Okay,
friends?
yeah.
I feel like yes. Do you have friends?
I do have
That's
friends. I feel like I can safely say now that I have friends. I have a handful of friends, not a lot, and I prefer not having a lot of friends. Some people, I think I've gotten to a point where I realize that there are standards to
two
friendships.
friendships,
You
okay?
have your close friends, and then you have friends, which are people around you,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have friends, people who are away, but you guys are in contact
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
I'd also answer by saying I do have friends.
hmm
I do. I feel like I do.
Yeah.
I do have friends, but dynamics differ within
Mm,
these friendships. You know, I have, which leads us to our second question in terms of the dynamics of the friendships. What's the dynamic of your friendships?
mm,
I have a friend group that we were friends from high school. I have friends that I met in tertiary when I was at RIS.
mm,
And I have friends who I just genuinely connected with this person and we became friends. Like we are not from the same environment, we didn't do the same thing back in school, you know?
mm.
And these dynamics, I feel like they teach you all one thing. Like the dynamics are different, but it boils down to, are we really friends? And when I say are we really friends, it's what friendship means to you. That's how you determine
It
if you're really
differs.
friends with someone.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have friendships where I feel like I'm somebody's friend and I don't get the feeling that I'm necessarily your friend.
Mm,
And I have friendships where we are friends genuinely, but we just not in the same space, as in like we have distance and we have
mm,
life that
mm,
is in between the friendships.
Is that a valid thing though? Because I don't feel that it
I don't.
is.
It's a valid thing to a certain point where if the communication is consistent and I'm
Yeah.
giving you the validation, you're giving me the validation back.
Yeah, to reassure me
So
that we
when
are
it
still in the
comes to a
friendship.
point where it's now just me invested in this friendship, it's now raises questions as in like, are we really friends?
Mm.
Are we really friends? And yeah, that's the dynamics like in your friendships or friendship groups or yeah, the different types of friendships that you have within your life.
Yeah. I feel like for I got to a point, and this was in high school,
Mm-hmm.
where I decided that I didn't want to have friends. And I spent a lot of time around male people because I told myself that I don't want to have female friends. I don't want girls
Mm-hmm.
around me and all of that. And I had valid reasons at the time for doing that. And
Mm-hmm.
I was okay with being isolated. I was okay with not having people around, not having people in my space. And then I got to varsity. I made friends. Yeah, I made a few friends.
Mm-hmm.
I still have one of my friends from varsity even today. She's my closest friend. Some friendships I've had to let go of,
Yeah.
also because I felt like people were always taking from me and never giving back the energy that I give them. And I
Valid,
think
valid.
also, like, I realize this now that I can't expect people to be me. I can't expect people to
Hmm.
give me the same energy that I give them. But at the same time, I'm like, give me something
Think back,
that
yeah.
makes me feel like
I'm
I,
your you are my
yeah,
friend as well, and I'm your friend
yeah,
in
you like you
return. Yeah,
appreciate me being in your life and you appreciate the things that I do for you. So I've had to cut people off, and
exactly.
I'm very quick. I think I told you I'm very
You
quick to cut
are,
people
yeah.
off. So I've had to cut people off, and I'm okay with that. But now I'm like, I actually do like, now I realize that the whole thing of not wanting to be friends is not beneficial for me because it isolates me and I don't want to be isolated
Absolutely,
anymore.
yeah.
Now it's like, what type of friendships do I want and how do I go about building those relationships?
Mhm.
Um and it's difficult because I think I expect so much from people, and I think it's because I give so much that like
Mhm.
I expect that the people I'm surrounded with are gonna give the same, but it's not always the case. And now it's like, how do I open myself up and put myself in
Out
position?
there.
Because it's not like in varsity where you're surrounded by
By
people,
people,
it's easy
so
to meet people.
yeah,
And it's like when you go to work, you don't want the people that you work with to be
to be
your
your
friends because you
friends.
see them at work, you see them outside of
Aside,
work. It's like, how's the relationship dynamic going to work? But I'm interested in the friendship experiences that you've had that have made you feel like people are not giving you what you're giving to them, like you are their friends, but they're not your friends.
okay. In situations, friendships where I feel like I would say I'm someone's friend
Mm,
and they're not my friend, how I would say that plays out is like, that friend where you have a friend where when shit goes down, you're the first person they come to.
yeah,
But like when life is good, it's like,
they go
baby girl,
MIA. Yeah.
like where are you? Like you don't call you like there's I have friends where I'd always call you or text you, check on how you're doing, like on a every day, and then like the only time you're gonna ask me how I'm doing is when I'm asking you how you're doing. If I'm not the one initiating the conversation is not gonna come up. But you would reach out only if you are in, like, I feel like I'm a lot of people in a lot of my friendships, I'm the confidant. Like people come to
Mm.
me when you're going through something or you need support in a certain way or in a certain but now the thing is I'm gonna be there for you, knowing very well that
You'd never do
when
the
the tables
same.
turn, this
Yeah,
person would
yeah.
never pull up for me in that way. Even in the smallest things, where like I had a recent event where I have this friend. I really thought like we friends because you come to me when you're feeling down or whatever, and I'm gonna be there for you. And there was this one day I was like really going through it, and it was bad, and it was like I just needed someone to talk to and I called this person, and it's like you're not available. Like it's a thing
Mm,
of no man, you got this, you strong.
but
Like a lot of my friends view me
yeah,
as you are very strong, you advise me, you help me
but it
go
doesn't
through a
mean
lot
that
of
you
things,
don't
but
need
it
the
doesn't mean that
same.
so when it's me that's going through stuff and I need someone to talk to, that person will simply just say you strong, you've got this.
You know what
Like,
pisses
is
me
that all you
off?
can give me as a friend? You
Like
strong, you
what?
got this. Like,
What? What about the times when you've come to
to
me?
me,
It's
and
like,
I really went all out for you, and
mm,
I
mm,
feel like it's the little things, man,
yeah,
the little things
yeah,
that literally put me off.
yeah.
And the messed up part is that like I haven't mastered the art of cutting people off. So
Really?
I would keep people around me
Mm.
knowing very well that I'm not benefiting anything from this relationship or this friendship. That's why I started saying I have friends where I know I'm their friend, but you're
They
not
are
my
not your
friend. I
friend.
just live
Yeah.
with it knowing that I can't rely on you for shit or for anything. Excuse my language. Yay! Like I just go through the friendship knowing for it, I can't count on you for anything,
Mm.
even the smallest thing, even if it's just
A
needing someone to talk
conversation.
to.
Yeah.
And I have a friend which she's very close to me. She's actually like we childhood friends from grade two till now. But in the beginning, she was more my sister's friend. She's like a family friend, or I can say, to a point
Okay.
where she
Okay.
can go home to
Mm.
my home
Mm.
even when I'm not there.
Mm.
And she's very close to the whole family. And like she was my sister's best friend then. Until now, it's a point where my sister's ventured into her own life and she's living a separate life and they're no longer that close. So I'm the second closest person she's to besides my sister. So that friendship grew in that space when my sister is now like no longer, oh, not no longer in the picture. They're still friends, but like the dynamic has changed in terms of where life has led them to be. So now I'm like her pillar of strength to say, but I feel like I can rely on her as a friend also. But the only thing is that now the dynamic of the friendship is changing, it's evolving. So I still need to consider her a very, very close friend because for the longest time she was my sister's best friend. She was not my
Mm.
best friend. So
Mm.
now that friendship, I feel like it's a friendship that's still blooming,
Yeah.
so the future looks great for that friendship. And
Mm.
I have friendships where I had a best friend once,
Mm.
and I haven't had a best friend in the longest time until I was in tertiary and I met this person and we went to the same high school, but like
Okay.
we knew each other but we were not really friends or close until we went to tertiary and we were the only two people that knew each other. Literally, she's the only
Mm.
person I know from where I'm coming from home, from
Sure.
school. She's like the closest thing from home
Mm. Mm.
in tertiary, and we grew close and our bond strengthened and we were like super super close. And I've always considered her my best friend even though we don't talk. We can go like months without talking, but when we do talk it's
Mm.
like pick
Mm.
up where we
Good
left off. It's
energy.
not, it's good energy.
Mm.
Until like recently where I feel like the communication is basically, I feel like we're just hanging on to nothing, if I may put it
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like I still consider you my best friend, but I'm not getting the energy back. I'm still questioning, am I still your best friend? Because recently I put up a post where I was talking to her, and you know those things where you get a TikTok or a cute meme
Mm.
and
Mm.
you put it up referring to this person. I feel like
Yeah.
you know when I'm talking to you
Yeah.
because you know what kind of friendship we have. And she didn't respond to it. So now I'm sitting with questions like,
Are we
am
still
I the only one who's
friends?
still your best friend? Like,
Yeah.
do you still consider me your best friend? Of which, if some people look at it, you might look at it as like petty
Mm.
that we don't talk and what. But I've always known Hore, even if we don't talk, you're always gonna be my best friend and you give me that reassurance. But now
Mm.
lately it's like it's no longer there. The real it's no longer a thing of when I say dog, you know, like this is how much I still care about you and stuff like that. I will get I still miss you and stuff like that, but the energy is not the same. Now it's I'm
Yeah.
sitting here questioning or like, if I would now say you're no longer my best friend, would I be in the wrong?
Mm.
How would you take it? Are you gonna be offended? But given the energy that I've been receiving from you, like I feel like
You know what's gonna
it's a
happen also?
mm-hmm.
Like when you say I feel like you've been giving me this energy, they're gonna make it look like you're imagining
That's the
things.
thing. Like gaslighting is a big thing in
Yeah.
friendships. Also, it's a big thing where if you raise your concerns, it's now people are toxic. They will
Yeah.
try and paint you in a light ways. No, you don't reach out either. Whereas
Mm.
I reach out, maybe not as often as you'd like, but at least I'm reaching out. You, on the other hand, are just
It's
sitting there
nothing.
waiting for me to reach out. And it's like you now, and I feel like a lot of these barriers are, it makes friendships difficult if, like, I have a friendship with you and you have another group of friends.
Mm.
Because when you have another group of friends, ne,
Mm.
according to me, if you have another group of friends, I'm gonna monitor how you behave around those people,
And
the
if
kind
it's
of
different
energy
from
that you
how you
give that
behave,
people
yeah.
and the energy that you give to me. If
Mm,
I see the energy, if I feel like you going all out for this group of for these people and you're not giving me the same energy, but you say constantly saying to me you're my best friend, or you I like prioritize, let's
yeah,
put it like that. I know there are friends that I would go all out for. I know there are friends where if you ask for my help, not that I'm not gonna help you, but I'm gonna give you the bare minimum because you give
mm,
me bare minimum.
yeah,
So I'm not gonna go all out. So if I'm going all out for you, I'm gonna expect the same energy.
yeah.
So if you're not giving me the same energy and it's a thing of you come with excuses like, nah, but bro, we don't talk that much anymore, or we don't interact that much anymore, and you have other friends outside who you're giving that energy to, and it's just like, but you told me you're in a situation where you can't give out this kind of energy, but you're
I
giving other
feel
people
like
this kind of
I
energy.
found myself in that situation, and I think I've come to understand, because when I was a child and I had friends and all of that, the whole concept of having different friendship groups was not there. Like it
Yes,
was like, if you are my
my
friend,
friend,
you
you are
can't
my
be friends
friend. You
with
can't be friends with
other
other
people as
people.
well.
Yeah.
But what I've had to learn, because I realize now, like with the people that I consider my friends, they have other friends, and they don't give me the same energy that they give
Give
their
the
other
other friends,
friends.
and we're not saying, I'm not, me personally, I'm not saying like having other friends outside of me is wrong,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
just saying,
Give
if
the
you
same
genuinely
energy.
say that you are my friend and you're giving these other people the energy that you're not giving me, it's questionable. Like,
Mm,
so they more important than me. Like, you
yeah.
drop everything for these people, but when
But
it
not
comes
for
to me,
me.
it's like,
But you
but
expect
when
me to
you
drop
going through
stuff,
stuff,
yeah.
you're not going to that same group of people.
You
It's
come
me now
into
that
me,
you're
yeah.
coming back to and expecting this type of treatment or this type
Can
of
I say,
friendship from.
in the past, I would have cut someone, if someone did that, I would have cut
Cut
them
someone
off.
off, yeah.
But now I'm like, I know who my friends are. I
Mm.
know who I go to.
When
And it's
you
like, because I feel like I have this one friend that I've established this type of friendship with, where she's my go-to person and
mm-hmm.
I'm her go-to person. And when everybody else is not showing up for me, I'm like, it's fine, I don't expect it from you anyways. And I've kind of come to terms with the fact that you see me as that type, because I'm like, you
Mm.
come to me when you want to discuss deep stuff, and I'm like, that's okay, because I'm that type of
Yeah,
person.
like I want to have those
Yeah. And
conversations.
if you want to have fun and you want to do all of the other stuff that you do, you can have your
Your
friends that you do
mm,
that with. And but it wasn't easy for me to just say, maybe I'm not the fun friend,
mm.
because I had to come to a point where I was like, okay, I'm not the fun friend.
And
I
you must be
know.
okay with it, like
But
saying that you're
it
not the
takes
fun
time,
friend.
because I feel like if I hadn't accepted myself, for like, if I hadn't accepted the fact that I'm deep and I want to have deep conversations and I want to like analyze things and all of that,
Mm.
it would have been hard for me to accept that you're choosing this person to have fun with and not me.
Not, yeah,
Because
yeah,
for me,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
my fun is when we're having those deep
Conversations,
conversations. Yeah,
exactly.
that's what. So it's like, I've had to understand that it's like, I'm not, you are not the person I go to, but I have my person that I go
Yeah,
to. It's unfair to some extent, because it's like, when are you gonna pull up for me?
yeah,
But
it
I've
is.
had to understand that some people just are not able within them to show up like that. It's
Mm.
like, they don't it doesn't even cross their mind to think
Like,
about those
you
things.
see, like how you put it, like now, for the longest time, I've been giving people like the benefit of the doubt in terms of like, if someone doesn't show up for you, I'd cover for that person in saying like, I can't expect people to give what I give because you're not me.
Mm, mm,
So, but it's also selfish. I've realized that it's selfish towards myself as well,
yeah,
because if I'm giving you this much, you should be
yeah,
giving me at least half
mm,
of what I'm giving you. So if you're giving me nothing, I
then
can't sit here and make excuses for you and say, that's where this thing comes up, where it's like, it's not easy for me to cut people off. Like, I'd
you
begazela
let
if you
them
put it
be.
in a
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
because I'm always like putting myself in someone's shoes to say like, maybe there's actually a
There's
reason
something
behind
going
this.
on. Yeah,
And
but it's like making excuses for them,
that's the thing. That's
and
what
it's
I'm learning to say, Jorge. I'm actually making excuses for the people. And it's
mm,
damaging me in a sense where I have this one friend where I feel like I'm this person, if I went to her, she would definitely pull up. But I don't go to her because friendships have failed me. Like,
yeah,
from all these friendships that I had,
mm,
I know Hori, I can't rely on nobody. So I have that attitude to say I wouldn't even confide in her or with something, knowing that she would give me good advice or she would pull through for me because of all these other friendship dynamics that I have. So I feel like if I could learn cutting people off, I would actually thrive in friendships because I would
mm,
keep people around me who
mm.
actually pull up for me, who actually give me what I want in friendships, because
Mm.
I'm giving them what they need in friendships, you understand?
Yeah.
So if I can learn to say, this friendship is not working for me, so I'm gonna step back from it. I think that's
Mm.
the important thing that I need to learn right now, is
Can I say?
removing myself from those friendships that I feel like are not working for me,
Mm,
and stop making excuses for people.
I felt like I made excuses for people because I felt like people are not responsible for me. Like
Mm.
when and I but I realize now that when you enter a friendship with someone, when you enter a relationship with someone, to some extent that person is responsible
Yeah,
for you. Like they're responsible for some, to some extent, how
yeah,
they make you feel and how, because it's like when you get into friendships, you are, their whole point is to build a sense of community,
yes,
and
and
that
a
sense of
bond,
community is
and
give and take and give
comfort,
and take.
bond, comfort,
Yeah,
like a safe
yeah,
space
for you.
to
And
say
it's like,
yes.
if you've given me, like, you must take responsibility for the fact that I'm building this relationship with this person,
Mm.
and I must show up for this person to some extent because I'm trying to build
Yeah, and if
this
I'm making you feel
relationship.
some type of way, I must be able to feel accountable,
Yeah,
take
yeah, ability for
accountability,
the fact that I
and
made you
vice
feel like
versa.
that.
But if
Yeah,
now I'm the one who's always taking the blame when things go wrong, when
yeah,
I'm not even
in the
wrong,
wrong.
I'm just
Yeah,
making excuses to keep the friendship
yeah.
afloat. So it's
Mm.
like, what are we doing
But
in a
it's
way?
that, is that we make excuses for those people because we excuse it saying that they're not responsible for me. So I'm like, I'm gonna take the responsibility for this whole thing.
Which I feel like it's unfair for you, because if you're
Yeah,
defining friendship in your terms and you taking responsibility for someone else, why
yeah,
can't they do the
they do the
same?
same.
Yes.
But also, you know what I think about also? It's that I feel like for me, I'm also responsible for the people I attract. That's how I feel. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
So
if I'm
you deal
attracting this
with it
type
and
of
you
person
put
who's
that.
always taking from me, it means that I'm
Some
someone
I'm
who's
the
willing to
one. I'm
give.
the
It's like,
problem also.
yeah, I must be
At
willing to take responsibility for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. True, true, true,
Yeah.
true. We must also learn to take responsibility for the people that we attract into our lives.
The people we
That's why I'm
allow,
so.
because you can attract someone, but allowing them to
Yeah,
stay, that's
yeah,
a whole
yeah, yeah.
different
Because
thing.
they do say, in the words of McLaren, though, boy, what you believe is what you.
That's what you.
Sorry, guys. Like, what you believe is what you allow.
Yeah,
Exactly. Like, what you
yeah.
believe is what you allow. So, if you believe in
Also,
a certain thing and you allowing people that are not contributing to what you believe in, and you keeping them around, you are
yeah,
messing
allowing
with your
it.
beliefs
Yeah, yeah.
also.
I feel like also friendships in us, when we talk about worth, usually it's mostly related to relationships. But I feel like
Mm.
even in friendships, like, you
Yeah,
must
yeah, yeah,
decide
yeah.
that I'm worthy of having a friend who's gonna be there for me. I'm
Yeah,
worthy of
yeah.
someone I know that I can just pick up my phone and I'll call them and they'll be there for me. It's like, know in yourself that actually I'm worthy of building those type of connections with
That's
people, and
actually
it's
something that
okay.
I feel like I can take from this.
Yeah,
Like, I must value myself as a friend,
yeah.
so I
Because
can.
it's like, why are you pouring yourself into these people who don't deserve it? It's like,
Mm,
because generally they don't, hey? Like,
motto. I
they,
like motto. I have that concept in saying motto.
mm,
Motto. Human beings. Motto. Like
they'll
motto.
show you,
Motto will
hey?
disappoint you.
They'll
Motto will
show
show
you.
you.
Mm,
As much as you will try to believe in someone, they will always at every turn prove you wrong. Like, I
yeah.
feel like I have so much faith in people, and
And
I
that's the
give
thing.
people a
I used
chance.
to, oh
I give
my
people a chance, and they will show
God.
me I'm not capable of what you think so highly of me, and I can't give you what
Because you
you
think of yourself highly
expecting.
and
So
you hold
I'm
yourself to a
giving,
certain
yes. So I
standard.
will give you the respect that I'm giving myself. I will
Yeah.
treat you at the level that I treat myself, and
Mm,
you keep disappointing, and I'm there on some hi khotla
making
siama
no,
e ra
no,
kgotlhela
because
yo
you know what they say, when a
khotla
person shows you who
siama.
they are, believe them the
Believe
first
them
time.
the first time. And I'm
Believe
also
them the
this
first time.
person where, like, I don't take what people say about you. So I would, if I were to have a view or an opinion about you,
Mm.
show me. Like, I must experience it. I will never take
What
how
other
about
people said.
people, when someone comes to me and like, this person is this kind of person. I don't feel like it's fair to judge
Because they
someone
haven't
based
done
on
that
that,
to
because
you.
yeah.
Mm.
Until now, I feel like actually sometimes I must listen, because
Mm.
why must I experience things? Like they
For you
say,
to believe them
"Bare motho, poison. I wanna drink the poison and
and see for
see
yourself.
for myself. This is how far this poison, this is how deep this poison damages."
Mm.
Ah, yo, guys. But like,
But we
in all
learn,
of this,
man.
I think I will learn to value myself in friendships, put myself first also. Don't always put others above me. And like, don't blame myself for having expectations of people, because the expectations that I set are things that I'm willing to give also. So if I'm willing, if you can call me and say you need 10th hour and I can give it to you,
you will give it.
I have the right to expect that if I call you and say
Yeah,
I need
same
10th hour,
energy,
you
same
can.
energy.
It's not even financial, I'm just making like an example.
Mm,
So I know if you can call me at 12 o'clock with you and say, dog, I'm stranded here, I need this kind of help. Or just call me and say, dog, I need someone to talk to, I'm in this space. If I'm doing that for you, I have every right to expect the same from you.
yeah, I think for me, I feel like I don't have the capacity for friendships, like the
Mm.
emotional capacity. Because I become so invested in people. It's like I can't be investing in these many people, but I feel like I want friendships now, and I am open to having the capacity to handle different friendships.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's so important. Like,
Look,
and
yeah, it's
we have
true.
to build those type of communities. Because even the way that I think about it, I'm like, I want my kids to have aunts who are
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
my blood
And like how you
siblings.
putting it, it comes down to this concept that I have of brand alignment. Brand alignment doesn't
Mm,
only apply to workspace, or
yeah, yeah.
it applies to friends
Even the
too,
people that
because
we are
you can't
surrounded
surround
by.
yourself with people who are not aligned with your goals or
Mm,
your where you want to be in life or
mm.
what you're working towards in
And don't make
relationships,
excuses for
friendships, and don't
people
make
to say they
excuses
will
for people,
change. Their
which is
brand will
something that
align
I'm
with yours.
learning. And
Mm,
cutting people off, like, I think also learning to value myself, that will teach me to be able to cut people off, because
yeah, they're not worth your
if I'm being
energy.
honest with myself, if I was not the person that I am, I wouldn't have a lot of friends. Probably two or three friends that
Mm.
I'll have. But I have these friends
I have
because
less
of
than
I
five.
keep yo when
Way
mana
less than
money.
five. I don't
Mana
want to say the
money.
exact number, but
Mana money, I
less than
have
five.
friends. Yeah, people
Yeah.
have friends in
But
me.
also when people ask me if I have friends, there's the one friend that comes at the top of my mind, and then I have to remember everybody else. But I'm like, if you were to ask me if I'd mention
To those
her,
people,
and then
yeah.
the other ones, it's like, it's yeah, here
Hey,
and there.
I'll find myself in situations where you ask me if I have friends, and I feel like if I call these people, the other people are gonna feel some type of way about it. Now I must
Yeah,
include these ones to say for it.
they're my
Like
friends.
kikra zero, but I'm just gonna squeeze you in to say, because I'm thinking for you now. For how would you feel if you
Mm,
hear me saying
mm,
I don't consider you a friend? Way,
yeah,
but of which I have rights, because you
yeah.
you you are
You
not my
don't show
friend.
up
I'm
as
your
a friend.
friend. So I feel like if I can learn that, Papa, ga ke na dijo, me 2 3
Honestly,
Modimo. And of which I don't feel like it affects me not having those people in my life.
they
So
don't
why
have
am
to
I
eat
hanging on?
anything.
Why am I
Yeah.
hanging on? Because if you are not in my life, I'm not gonna suffer.
Mm,
Can't take a bupi one. I eat kaja. Can't take a bupi.
mm.
Kawampira. You don't contribute to me, and you don't
You don't
validate
build me
me,
up.
you
You
don't build
don't.
me,
Yeah,
you don't validate me, you give nothing. But I must think for you to say, how would you feel if I were to refer to you as
it's
not
not
my
my
friend?
friend.
So I must learn to be selfish in a way.
Yeah,
I must learn to be selfish. That's very important also. Like aritate man.
it's a
Self love
journey,
aritate.
and
It's
I
a
think it's a
journey where
beautiful one.
I don't feel like I'm gonna put pressure on myself to cut people off, but I feel like it's something that I need to learn, and I must be stern.
But also let
I must
people
be
fall off.
stern in my
Also,
beliefs in saying I am valuable. I like
mm,
I must value myself to an extent where if I cut you off, and one thing about me, if I cut you off, I don't care. Like if I reach
yeah,
that point where
yeah,
you are out, I don't care. Like I don't care. I don't care, which is something I realized very late in my life, Hore. If That's why I have this thing of I won't cut you off. I'd prefer if you leave, because if you leave, I'm not
then
gonna give
yeah.
zero. I'm
Mm.
not gonna
I
care.
cut people off. Eh.
I'm not gonna
I
care. But
make
if I
sure.
cut you off, it will ganyane, ganyane,
Mm.
like Hore.
Not me. Because you know what? I feel like before I cut you off, I gave you so many chances. I gave you
Mm.
so many chances to prove me wrong, but you kept proving me right. And it's like, when you're
Oh,
done, you're done. We're out.
about me. I live for chances forever. Yeah, friendships, family, what I must get rid for of
Nah,
that
not me.
mentality. Like
Because also, I'm not scared of being alone. Like, I'm not scared of being isolated. I got used to
That's
it.
the thing. I feel like mine is not driven by the fear of being alone because I'm alone most. I have friends, but I'm alone most
Most
of
of the
the time.
time.
So
It's the
it's
idea
not
of
as it's
them.
the idea of like the thinking behind why I have you as a friend, or the thinking behind why I don't cut people off, or I think I'm comfortable in people leaving rather than me chasing them away. So I must learn to cut people
off, man.
like bathroom when there are those dead leaves, you must cut them
Exactly, you
also in
cut them
order
off.
for the
Yeah.
tree to grow. So
Yeah.
my tree is full of
That's a
dead
good
leaves.
analogy.
My tree is full of dead leaves. I
You
must
need to
cut
cut.
off those dead
You need to
leaves.
cut.
So because now they are heavy, there's this
Yeah.
weight on me that
Dead
I
weight.
could easily just get rid of that weight. So I must just bring myself to a point where I can cut off this dead weight.
Yeah.
Because gobaneng mana mama I'm taking a boopy. Like honestly, I don't take a boopy. I can like literally I like that, like that's when I say like gore motho ga sa go rekele boopy like ha ke sa je wena. If I can sleep ke go rola ke jele o
Or
sitting.
sitting.
It's fine. And I'm not saying literally like boopy in terms of if in terms of like you're
If
not
I can
feeding me
survive
anything.
without you,
You're not
then
giving me anything. Exactly.
yeah.
So I can live without you. So I must just bring myself to a point where I'm like,
Yeah. Cut them off, Shane. I say cut them off. But also, because it's like when you cut them off, you make space for the people who are going to be genuine. You make space for those people.
Yes.
So
Also, I feel like if there was something I was to leave you guys with, I have this phrase in my head. Let me think. I think it's gonna come up. It's like, um, don't be scared. Like don't feel bad about how people view you because they don't know what it takes to be you.
yeah.
They don't know what it takes to be you. So don't feel bad if now you not putting them in a position where they have an opinion over your life, or so like just don't feel bad about being you because nobody knows what it takes to be you. We go through different things as people. So if you don't, especially if you're not contributing to the person that I am and you don't understand or know what it takes, and like not even if you don't contribute, like nobody knows what it takes to be you. So don't feel offended by not caring what someone thinks of you.
Yeah. I'd say I'm open to friendships. And if you want to apply to be my friend, I am definitely open. Like, not even as a joke. Like, I get so excited thinking about the opportunity of meeting new people and having
Yeah.
conversations with those people.
Okay, I
So,
feel like also in that terms, I'm open to meeting new friends, but the
yeah.
thing is now my openness comes with restrictions. Like I know,
Boundaries are important.
I know. Besides boundaries, like I know what I want. So if you're coming to me on some, I'm sharp. Like I feel like there's friendships that I can like. I have people around me that they're not my friends, but I feel like if this person would wanna be my friend, I would open my arms. And I feel like there's people who I know if you wanna be my friend, it's like,
It's a
ay,
no.
ay, mama.
It's a
Yeah,
no.
I know
Yeah.
you don't meet the criteria. You don't, and I'm not gonna feel bad about you not meeting the criteria because I've let so many people in that failed me, so I'm not about to do that again. Yeah. And I hope this has taught you something as viewers. You've
Share your
taken something. Also,
experiences
share your
as well.
experiences. Feel free to comment in where you feel like maybe I have made a comment that you feel like maybe my analogy is not.
Maybe there's a different perspective
You know,
that
yeah,
they
I'm
have.
open to the other perspectives as well. And do share, man. Let's talk about these things that so that we are aware of them, and so that when it comes to making decisions like this, you make them from different perspectives.
Yeah,
Like
you
you
have
are
all the
sure, you don't have
perspectives.
room for doubt to say maybe I was wrong or maybe
I'm actually right
like
in doing
let's
this.
cancel the maybes because the more we talk about stuff, the more sure we are about them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we thank you for tuning in. Do not forget to like, comment,
Comment and
and
subscribe.
subscribe. Tell your
It'll
friend
never
to.
not be weird to say that.
It will
But
never not
yeah.
be weird, but you know,
Yeah.
do like, comment, subscribe. Tell your
Share with
friend
your
to tell your friend, tell
friends.
your neighbor. If you
Genuine
have a
friends,
friend,
not any friends.
yeah, and if you have
Genuine
a friend
friends.
that you feel like you are in this boat and we spoke about that, share the
Share with
podcast with
them.
them so they
Yeah.
can
And if they
look at
attack you, you can send them our way.
Abue.
We'll deal with
We'll
them.
assemble
Yeah.
and call them back to order.
Yeah.
if you give us that platform, of course, too.
Yeah, the
And also
permission.
do share your dilemmas so that we can address them as well and share our views on those dilemmas. And again, closing, a very big disclaimer, this is just
Our point
our
of
point of
views.
view.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.